Hey guys, Bitech Gaming here, and today I have a Photoshop tutorial for you. This time I am going to be showing you how to make some kind of a metal texture with a 3D star on top of it. First of all, you need a canvas of a size of 1200 pixels by 1200 pixels, a resolution of 300 ppi, and gonna let it load the canvas. Okay, so first thing you need to do is create a new layer and fill it with a very dark gray kind of color, but not black. And I'm gonna use Ctrl D to fill my background. Then what you need to do is go ahead and create a new layer and select your ellipse tool, and we need our guides on. So what you need to do is go to view, new guides, 50% vertical and 50% horizontal. This is just to show us our center point. Then we're gonna draw our circle. What you need to do is hold the left click, and then holding shift and alt, just go near the end. Doesn't have to be really big, just like this size maybe. I think that's a good size. Yeah, that's a good size. Now what you need to do is go to fill color. Because it's still a shape, you can change the fill color and the stroke. We don't need a stroke, we just need to change our fill color to some kind of a silver like color, maybe say maybe here, this color. Yeah, I think that would do. Maybe, yeah, that's better. Then what you need to do is create a new layer. Then, or you can just Ctrl J this to create a duplicate. Then for the duplicate layer, you need to go to fill and choose white as your color, as your fill color. Then make this a slightly bigger circle, like let's say this much. That's better. And then rasterize the layer. Then what you need to do is go to filter, noise, I can't find it, noise, add noise, and you need a pretty high number, like let's say 160, and it has to be Gaussian and monochromatic. This is just to give it the kind of metal texture that we need. Then what you need to do is go to filter, render, need to go to filter, blur, then radial blur, you need to put the amount to 100%, has to be spin and best. Press OK, let it think. Then you need to change the color to, you need to go to this box, you need to change it to color burn, and as you can see there's a black line at the back. So what you need to do about that is holding control, come on the thumbnail here, press it, and it's gonna select this area. Then you need to go to select, inverse or shift, control and I, and just press delete. Then once you got rid of that, change the opacity of this to, let's say, maybe 35%. 35%. Then we need, let's rasterize this layer. Then go to blending options, Bevel and Emboss. You need to have it inner, style inner, then size, let's say 10 would be good, 8 maybe, yeah. On-click global lighting, the degree has to be 90 degrees, and opacity, shadow to overlay, and yeah. And press OK. Now that we have this, what we need to do is we need to create this kind of a, like this metal texture on top of it. Go to your grading tool, and you need to have something like this. It has to be pretty close together. As you can see, I already made one. It has to be black and white, black and white, black and white, pretty close together. And from the middle, let's get right here, you need to go all the way here. Oh, my fault, sorry. You need to create a new layer, and on that layer, go from the middle all the way to the top, and as you can see, it gives it this kind of effect. Then what you need to do is to holding control again, select the circle, go to select, inverse, press delete. As you can see, got rid of the axis. Deselect, Control D for deselect. Now you need to put the color to overlay, and I'm sorry, put it to color burn. So yeah, it has to be on overlay in order to get you this nice effect. Now that it's on overlay, turn the opacity down to maybe 40%. Yeah, 40%. And let's make another layer, copy of this layer, and give it a different angle. Let's say right here maybe. Here would do. Yeah. Then to give some kind of a step grading effect, we're gonna create circles. Let's say bigger circle here. Then we're gonna go to image adjustments, hue and saturation, and let's bump the lightness up just a hair. Say 12, maybe even lower, 10. Then deselect it, make another circle here maybe, yeah, and let's bump the lightness up even more. So we go to image adjustments, hue and saturation, lightness to 20%, and press OK. Then after you've done that, you need to just to give this just to clear it a little bit, we select the large eraser and hardness should be 0. Just get rid of the edge to make it a little bit less busy. That's good. And this one, just the hair. That's great. Now we done our nice silver disc. So we're gonna group this. What you need to do is go on the top layer that you have, holding shift, click on the bottom layer of the disk and just drag them to this folder icon at the bottom. I'm gonna name this silver disk. Now we're gonna go ahead and do our star. And to do our star, we need to create a new layer. And what you need to do is go to your polygon tool. The sides should be 5 sides. And go to this icon here, click it and click a star. And the indent sides by 40%. Now go to the middle. I'm gonna zoom in to see my middle. And click on the center, holding shift and alt, drag it so it would be like this much maybe. Maybe a little bit bigger. sure that this is dead center. I'm gonna need to have it perfect. So after that, press enter. Now you need to select the color to be, we don't need any stroke. We need the color to start, make this start red. Now get your dodge tool and lighten these sides up on a new layer that you made. Just create a new layer of this. Just hold and drag it down here and rasterize it. And when you rasterize it, once you rasterize it, just using your dodge tool, dodge these sides up because you're getting the light from the light source. This side is gonna be lightened up too. Just a little, and also here. And yeah, and a little bit here. Now that you have all these sides lighten up, you need to make, in order to make it a 3D shape, you need to have it, you need to have it pretty, have a nice pretty hard edge. So to give it that hard edge that we need, go to your polygon lasso tool, and from the middle right click and just go to right here. I'm sorry, go to here, go to the top and come back here, going to from here to here. This will help giving it this kind of 3D shape that we need. Now I'm gonna do this for all of the shadow sides and come back once I'm done. So as you can see, our 3D star is coming to have a nice shape. But one thing that we need to do is this side, it needs a little more highlight. So I'm just gonna select this part and just give it a slight more highlight. So with that side highlighted, we can now work on our shadows. So if the sun is here, we're gonna have shadows right here, 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 and here. So I'm gonna get my burn tool. Exposure has to be 40%. This has to be mid-tone, and size should be around 200 pixels. So what you need to do is go ahead and burn these parts. Just give it a little shadow. I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with the dodge tool, but just create shadows this time. This would help give it the 3D feeling that we need. So these two parts are gonna be shadowed too, and also this part. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing, giving my shape those hard edges, giving the shadows those hard edges that we need. So I'm gonna delete this part right here. Deselect it. Gonna give it just basically just the same thing that we did there, but doing it this time with shadows. So I'm gonna come back when I'm so as you can see, I'm finished working on the shadows. Just gonna give this part right here. I'm gonna center the whole thing. It's better. Okay. So I'm just gonna center this out a little bit more. I'm just gonna give it a little bit more shadow. Give it a little bit more depth right here. That's good. Now so I dodged these parts on this layer and cut out the parts that are shadowed and burned those shadowed parts on this layer, as you can see. Now that I have all my shadowed and highlighted parts, I'm gonna get rid of my sun and I'm gonna go to my disk layer and get that brushed metal look that we created earlier and create a new copy of that and bring it on top of all my star layers. I'm gonna increase the opacity just a hair, like to, let's say 45 maybe. Yeah, 45 would do. And as I told you earlier, you're gonna hold control and press on the star thumbnail, go to select, inverse, delete that selection, and now you'll just delete the selection, and now you're just left with this star with the metal look. Sorry, Ctrl Z. Let's deselect that. This time you need to center the middle part with this star, like this part that it spins. I'm gonna center it and then select the inverse star and delete the whole thing. Okay, now that we have that, I'm gonna do the gradient effect with this star as well. So let's put these two on top of mine. Yeah, right here. But I'm just gonna give it a different angle. So maybe this part here. That would do. And also with this one, I'm gonna give it a different angle from what we have on the disc. So right here would do. Yeah. And then I'm gonna delete the axis using my selection method that I told you guys earlier. Let's do it here and here and deselect. So we have our star ready. The next step is to give the disc a bright kind of middle. So go to your brush, select your brush tool and have it on 500 pixels, around 500, and select white as your foreground color. It has to be dead center, so here maybe, and click a few times to get that bright, really bright look in the middle. So with that done, so we got this bright look in the middle. Now we're gonna give our star a nice outer glow. This outer glow will act as shadow, so select the color as black and the blend mode should be normal. The size should be around 75%, and the opacity should be 80%, and so we got our shadow for the star, and I think that's all. So just for finishing touches, we're gonna create another layer of this. So go to your circular tool and make a big circle, like let's say around this size, and have the fill to this color, this color, and the stroke should be, we don't need a stroke, and should be behind this layer. And then go to your selection tool and get rid of this part here. Rasterize the layer first and get rid of that. And let's make another duplicate of that. So another smaller one, say around here maybe. That would do. And let's give it the metal look that we want. So create a duplicate of this one and bring it on top of here, and holding shift select these two layers, Ctrl E to merge them, and holding Ctrl on the thumbnail, go ahead and select inverse and delete all the surrounding of it, and there we go. We have this nice little kind of effect, just to make this a little bit more less busy. Go ahead and fold these. Put this in this folder. I'm gonna name my folder the star. And so there you go. We've got our nice little star disc kind of thing that we wanted. New tutorials will be coming out soon, and stay tuned for those. If you like to see more of these tutorials, hit the like button and also subscribe to stay tuned. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Bye.